She said that she accidentally booked a suite with her ex during her work trip to Vegas. So I made sure she stays there without my credit card and my payment for her college loans, and now she is begging for a second chance. Hey everyone, using a throwaway because this story involves some people who might recognize the details. I'm still processing everything that happened, and honestly, writing this out is helping me make sense of it all. I, 32 male, have been with my girlfriend Lisa, 29 female, for 3 years. We've been living together for the past year and a half, and I thought things were going really well between us. She's been working as a marketing coordinator at this tech startup, and I've been supporting her through her MBA program that she's finishing up part-time. The arrangement worked well for both of us. I make decent money as a software engineer, and she's brilliant, but needed the financial support to focus on her studies and build her career. Just to give you some background on our financial arrangement, when we moved in together, we decided I'd handle most of the major expenses since my salary was significantly higher. I pay the rent on our apartment, utilities, groceries, and I've been covering her student loan payments for her MBA program, which run about $1,800 a month. She contributes what she can from her salary, but most of her income goes toward her personal expenses, car payment, and building up some savings. She has my credit card as an authorized user for emergencies and joint expenses. Looking back, maybe I was too generous, but I believed we were building something together and investing in our future. The situation that's led to me writing this post started about 3 weeks ago. Lisa came home excited about a work conference her company was sending her to in Las Vegas. It was supposed to be a big opportunity for her. Potential clients, networking, maybe even a promotion if things went well. The conference was set for a long weekend, Thursday through Sunday, and her company was covering most of the expenses. I was genuinely happy for her. She'd been working really hard, and this seemed like the kind of break she deserved. We spent that evening planning what she'd pack, talking about the sessions she wanted to attend, and I even helped her prepare for some of the networking opportunities. Everything seemed normal, and I was proud of how far she'd come in her career. The night before she left, she mentioned something that should have been a red flag, but at the time I didn't think much of it. She said her company had screwed up the hotel booking somehow, and instead of the standard room she was supposed to get, they'd accidentally booked her into a suite. She seemed a little flustered about it, saying she'd tried to change it, but the hotel was completely booked because of the conference. "It's going to be so awkward," she said, laughing nervously. "I mean, I'm grateful, but I don't need all that space just for myself." I told her to enjoy the luxury, maybe order room service, and make the most of the company's mistake. She kissed me goodbye the next morning, and I drove her to the airport. Everything seemed fine. The first day, Thursday, I got normal texts from her. She'd landed safely, the conference was good, typical work stuff. Same thing Friday. But Friday night, her texts started getting weird. Short responses, delays in responding, and when I called her to say goodnight around 11 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. Vegas time, she seemed distracted and said she was exhausted and going to bed early. Saturday was when things got really strange. I barely heard from her all day. When I did, her responses were just basic stuff. Conference is good, busy day, that kind of thing. I called her Saturday night around the same time, and it went straight to voicemail. I figured maybe she'd gone out with some colleagues and her phone died, so I didn't worry too much about it. Sunday was supposed to be her last day, and she was supposed to fly back Sunday evening. But around noon, I got a text that made my stomach drop. "Hey babe, flight got delayed. Might not be back until Monday morning. Hotel is extending my stay for free since it's not my fault. We'll call you later." Something about that text felt off. First, Lisa is usually way more detailed in her communication, especially about travel changes. Second, I'd helped her book the original flight, and it was on a major airline that doesn't typically have severe delays without weather issues. I checked the weather in Vegas. Perfect conditions. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail again. That's when I decided to do something I'd never done before in our relationship. I checked our credit card statements online. What I found made me physically sick. There were charges on my credit card from Vegas, but they weren't just from Lisa. There were 2 charges at the same restaurant Friday night, within minutes of each other. 2 charges at a bar Saturday night. 2 tickets to a show I knew Lisa had no interest in. And then the one that broke me. A charge at a very expensive steakhouse Saturday night for $340. Way more than Lisa would ever spend on a meal for herself. But the real kicker? I cross-referenced the timeline with her texts and calls. Every time there were 2 charges close together, it corresponded exactly with times she'd been unresponsive or weird in her communication. I spent Sunday night going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. The hotel charges on my card showed room service for 2 people multiple times. There were spa charges for couples packages. Even a charge at a jewelry store in the hotel for a men's watch that cost $800. By Monday morning, I was certain Lisa wasn't alone in Vegas. And given her nervousness about the accidentally booked suite, I had a pretty good idea of who she was with. See, about 6 months into our relationship, Lisa had told me about her ex, Jordan. They dated for 2 years before we got together, and according to her, it had ended badly when he moved to California for work and didn't want to do long distance. She'd mentioned a few times that he worked in tech sales and traveled a lot for work. She'd also mentioned that he'd tried to reconnect with her a few times over social media, but she'd always shut it down out of respect for our relationship. Or so she told me. When Lisa finally called me Monday morning, I was ready. She started with the same story about flight delays, but her voice sounded off, guilty, nervous. That's weird about the delays, I said casually. I was looking at flight tracking websites, and it shows most flights from Vegas to here were on time yesterday. There was a pause. Oh, it wasn't weather. It was some kind of mechanical issue with our specific aircraft. Which airline again? Another pause. Southwest. Now I knew she was lying. I'd helped her book the flight on Delta, and she knew I knew that. Lisa, I said quietly, who are you with in Vegas? The silence on the other end was deafening. Finally, she said, what do you mean? I'm alone. Then explain to me why my credit card shows charges for 2 people at dinner, drinks, shows, and spa treatments. I heard her suck in a breath. I can explain that. I'm listening. Okay, look, I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd be upset, but Jordan is here for the same conference. We ran into each other, and since we're both here alone, we decided to hang out as friends. That's all. And the suite that was accidentally booked? Silence. Lisa, did you plan this? More silence. Then finally, it's not what you think. What I think is that you coordinated this trip with your ex, lied to me about the hotel situation, and have been spending my money on what amounts to a romantic weekend getaway with another man. Am I wrong? It's not romantic. We needed closure. We never got proper closure when he moved, and seeing him again made me realize there were things we needed to talk about. In a suite, for 4 days, on my dime. I was going to pay you back. With what money, Lisa? You don't even pay your own student loans. That seemed to hit her. That's not fair. You know I'm grateful for everything you do. Grateful enough to lie to me and spend my money on your ex? She started crying then. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. We were just going to have dinner and talk. But then one thing led to another, and we started remembering why we were good together, and stop. Just stop. I was surprised by how calm my voice sounded. Are you telling me you're cheating on me? I don't know. I'm confused. I thought I was over him, but seeing him again, I don't know what I want anymore. That's when something clicked in my brain. The same thing I'd seen in those revenge stories online where people describe the moment they stop being the victim and start taking control. Okay, I said. I appreciate your honesty. She seemed surprised by my calm response. Really? Really. Take all the time you need to figure out what you want. Thank you, babe. I knew you'd understand. I'll probably stay another day or two to really sort through my feelings, and then we can talk when I get back. Absolutely. Take as much time as you need. After I hung up, I sat in our apartment for about an hour, just processing. Then I started making calls. The first call was to my credit card company. I reported the card Lisa had been using as stolen and had it immediately canceled. When they asked if there were any fraudulent charges, I told them yes. Anything in Vegas after Thursday needed to be investigated, as the card had been used by someone without my permission for unauthorized personal expenses. The second call was to Lisa's student loan servicer. I'd been making her payments through autopay from my bank account. I canceled that arrangement immediately and requested confirmation in writing. The third call was to my buddy Jake, who works in cybersecurity and has helped me with various tech issues over the years. I asked him to help me change all of my passwords, remove Lisa's access to any of my accounts, and help me secure my digital life. He came over that evening, and we spent 3 hours making sure Lisa couldn't access anything of mine remotely. The fourth call was to my landlord. Our lease was in my name only, which had been a practical decision based on my credit score and income. I asked about the process for removing someone from the apartment and what kind of notice I needed to give. Then I started documenting everything. Screenshots of the credit card charges, copies of the student loan payment history, photos of Lisa's belongings in our apartment, and a detailed timeline of her lies about the Vegas trip. I also printed out texts where she'd talked about how grateful she was for my support and how committed she was to our relationship. That evening, I got a text from Lisa. Tried to order room service, but something's wrong with the card. Could you call the company and see what's up? I didn't respond. An hour later. Never mind, figured it out, love you. I knew she hadn't figured it out. She was probably panicking. Around 10 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. Vegas time, my phone started ringing. Lisa. What the hell did you do? She said as soon as I answered. I'm not sure what you mean. The credit card isn't working. I'm stuck here with no way to pay for anything. That's strange. Maybe there's a fraud alert because of unusual spending patterns? Don't play dumb with me. I know you canceled it. Why would I do that? Because you're being vindictive and petty. I'm being vindictive? You're in Vegas with your ex spending my money on a romantic getaway, and I'm the one being petty? It's not romantic. How many times do I have to tell you that? Lisa, you're in a suite with your ex-boyfriend. You've been lying to me for days, and you just admitted you're confused about your feelings for him. What would you call it? I call it figuring out my life, and you're sabotaging me. I'm not sabotaging you. I'm protecting myself. If you want to figure out your life with Jordan, you're welcome to do that on your own dime. How am I supposed to get home? The same way you got there, with the return ticket that I assume you have, or with help from Jordan, since you two are so close now. She was quiet for a moment. Are you breaking up with me? I don't know. I'm confused about my feelings too. Maybe I need some time to figure things out. This is ridiculous. You're overreacting to something innocent. Lisa, answer me honestly. Have you been physical with Jordan? Silence. Have you kissed him? More silence. Have you slept with him? I don't think that's relevant to. It's a yes or no question. It's complicated. It's really not. Finally, she whispered, yes, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just closure. Okay, thanks for being honest. Enjoy your closure. On your own budget. I hung up and blocked her number. The next morning, Tuesday, I got a call from my bank. Someone had tried to access my account online multiple times with the wrong password, triggering their security protocols. I confirmed that it wasn't me, and they added additional security flags to my accounts. I also got a call from Lisa's student loan company, confirming that I was no longer responsible for her payments and that her account would revert to her personal information. They mentioned that her next payment of $1,847 was due in 12 days. Around noon, Jake called me at work. Dude, you need to see this. He sent me a screenshot of Jordan's Instagram story. It was a photo of 2 champagne glasses clinking together with the caption, "Sometimes the universe gives you exactly what you need." The location tag was from the hotel where Lisa was staying. That evening, I started packing up Lisa's belongings. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just methodical. I boxed up her clothes, her books, her personal items, everything. I put it all neatly in the spare bedroom and took photos of everything for documentation. I also changed the locks. The landlord had okayed it as long as I provided him with new keys, which I did. Wednesday, I got several calls from unknown numbers that I didn't answer. The voicemails were from Lisa, increasingly frantic. Please call me back. My flight is tomorrow morning and I need to talk to you. I know you're upset, but we can work through this. Please don't do this. I can't afford to stay here another night. The hotel is charging me full price now and I don't have enough money. I'm sorry, okay? I made a mistake, but 3 years together has to count for something. Thursday morning, I got a text from an unknown number. This is Jordan. Look, I don't want to get in the middle of your relationship issues, but Lisa doesn't have enough money to get home and she's kind of freaking out. Can you please call her? I responded. She's an adult who made her choices. I'm sure you two can figure it out together. We're not together, man. This was just a mistake. Then I guess you both made the same mistake. That afternoon, I got a call from Lisa's mom. She was polite but clearly upset. Hi, honey. Lisa called me crying, saying something about being stranded in Vegas and that you two had a fight. She asked me to call you and see if we could work this out. I liked Lisa's mom, so I was honest with her. I explained the whole situation. The lies about the conference, the accidental suite booking, the spending my money on her ex, the cheating, everything. Her mom was quiet for a long time. Finally, she said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I am too, Mrs. Rodriguez. I really cared about Lisa." You know, I always wondered about this Jordan boy. She talked about him too much for someone who was supposed to be over him. That stung, but it also validated my gut feelings. If she needs help getting home, you're welcome to help her, I said. But I can't be in a relationship with someone who lies to me and cheats on me. I understand completely. You're a good man, and you deserved better than this. Friday evening, I got one more voicemail from Lisa. I'm home. I'm staying with my parents until I figure things out. We need to talk. I know I messed up, but I love you, and I want to fix this. Please call me. I didn't. Over the weekend, I got several more calls and texts from unknown numbers. All from Lisa, using friends' phones or apps to get around my blocking her. I ended things with Jordan. It was a mistake, and I realize that now. I'll pay you back every penny I spent in Vegas. I'm getting a second job to pay for my own student loans. Please just give me a chance to explain in person. You're the one I want to be with. I know that now. Monday morning, I got a call at work from the front desk. Lisa was in the lobby asking to see me. I had security escort her out and made it clear she wasn't welcome in the building. That evening, she was sitting on the steps outside my apartment building when I got home from work. She looked terrible, like she hadn't slept in days. We need to talk, she said, standing up. No, we don't. Yes, we do. You can't just throw away 3 years without even giving me a chance to explain. I gave you multiple chances to explain. You chose to lie every time. I was scared and confused. Jordan contacted me about the conference, and when he suggested we meet up to talk, I thought I could handle it. I thought I was over him. So you lied to me about it. Because I knew you'd be upset. Of course I'd be upset. You were planning to meet up with your ex behind my back. It wasn't supposed to go that far. The sweet thing was his idea, and I should have said no. But I was curious about what it would be like to have closure with him. By sleeping with him. She started crying. It was a mistake. A stupid, horrible mistake. But it made me realize how much I love you and want to be with you. Lisa, you didn't make a mistake. You made a series of choices. You chose to coordinate with Jordan. You chose to lie to me about the hotel. You chose to spend my money on dates with him. You chose to sleep with him. Those weren't accidents. But I chose you in the end. I told Jordan it was over, and I came home to you. You came home because I cut off your credit card, and you couldn't afford to stay. That's not true. Then why didn't you come home Sunday like you were supposed to? She didn't have an answer for that. Lisa, I want you to think about something. If I hadn't canceled the credit card, how long would you have stayed in Vegas with Jordan? More silence. If I hadn't confronted you about the charges, would you have ever told me the truth about what happened? I would have eventually? No, you wouldn't have. You would have come home and pretended it never happened, and I would have been paying your student loans and supporting you while you figured out your feelings for another man. She was sobbing now. Please don't do this. I'll do anything to make it right. You can't make it right, Lisa. You broke my trust. You lied to me repeatedly, and you cheated on me. There's no coming back from that. But you said you loved me. I did love you. Past tense. I walked past her into the building and didn't look back. Over the next week, I got a few more attempts at contact, but they gradually stopped. Jake told me he'd seen that Jordan had updated his relationship status to single on Facebook and had posted some cryptic stuff about learning hard lessons about the past. Lisa's mom called me once more to apologize and to let me know that Lisa had moved in with a friend and was working 2 jobs to cover her expenses and student loans. She also mentioned that Lisa had been going to therapy to work on herself. I just want you to know, Mrs. Rodriguez said, that we don't blame you for any of this. Lisa made her choices, and she has to live with the consequences. A month later, I got a long email from Lisa. I almost deleted it without reading it, but curiosity got the better of me. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I've been in therapy, and I'm starting to understand how badly I messed up. It wasn't just the cheating, it was the lying, the taking advantage of your generosity, and the complete disrespect for our relationship. I know I can't undo what I did, and I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I want you to know that what happened with Jordan made me realize that you were the best thing that ever happened to me. He's selfish and manipulative, and being with him reminded me of all the reasons we broke up in the first place. You gave me everything, your love, your support, your trust, your money, and I threw it all away for someone who doesn't even care about me. Jordan hasn't spoken to me since I got back from Vegas. He got what he wanted and moved on, just like he did before. I'm not asking you to take me back. I know I ruined any chance of that. I just wanted you to know that I understand now what I lost, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life regretting it. I hope you find someone who appreciates you the way I should have. You deserve so much better than what I gave you. I read it once and deleted it. There was nothing to say in response. It's been 6 months since Vegas, and I'm doing really well. I got a promotion at work that came with a significant salary increase. I'm dating again, and I'm being much more careful about red flags and boundary setting. The extra $1,800 a month I'm not spending on Lisa's student loans has allowed me to max out my 401k contributions and build up a substantial emergency fund. I'm also looking at buying a house next year. I found out through mutual friends that Lisa is struggling financially and had to drop out of her MBA program because she couldn't afford the remaining tuition. She's working at a restaurant and doing some freelance marketing work on the side. Jordan apparently moved back to California and is engaged to someone else. I don't feel bad about any of it. I gave Lisa every opportunity to be honest with me, and she chose lies and betrayal instead. The financial consequences she's facing now are the direct result of her own choices. Sometimes people ask me if I think I was too harsh, cutting off her support so abruptly, but I don't see it that way. I wasn't her husband or her father. I was her boyfriend who was voluntarily helping her build a better life. When she decided to betray that relationship, she forfeited any claim to my continued support. The Vegas accident taught me a valuable lesson about trust, boundaries, and self-respect. I'm grateful I learned it before I made any bigger commitments to Lisa, like marriage or joint financial obligations. If anyone reading this is in a similar situation, supporting a partner financially while they figure things out, make sure you're really partners in every sense of the word. Don't be an ATM with feelings. Update 1. It's been about 2 weeks since I posted my original story, and I wanted to update everyone on a few developments. First, thanks to everyone who commented with support and advice. It's been helpful to hear from people who've been in similar situations and to know that I handled things reasonably. The main update is that Lisa has ramped up her attempts to contact me again. I'm not sure what triggered it, but I have some theories I'll get into. Last Monday, she showed up at my gym. I have a pretty regular workout schedule, and she clearly had been watching or asking around to figure out my routine. She approached me between sets and asked if we could talk. I told her no and asked her to leave me alone. She started getting emotional and loud, so I just grabbed my stuff and left. The gym staff apparently had to ask her to leave as well. Tuesday, she somehow got my new phone number. I changed it a month ago and left a voicemail. I know you saw me at the gym yesterday. I'm not trying to stalk you. I just need 5 minutes to tell you something important. Please call me back. I didn't. Wednesday, she contacted my sister on Facebook. My sister, bless her, immediately sent me screenshots of the message. Hi, I'm Lisa, your brother's ex-girlfriend. I know he probably told you what happened between us, but I really need to talk to him about something important, and he won't answer my calls. Could you please ask him to contact me? It's not about getting back together. There's just something he needs to know. My sister responded, my brother doesn't want to talk to you. Please stop contacting him and our family. Thursday, I got a text from that same unknown number Jordan had used to contact me back in Vegas. This is Lisa. I know you blocked my number, but please read this. I found out something about Jordan that you need to know. He recorded us in Vegas without my knowledge. I'm worried he might try to use it against you somehow. Please call me. That one actually gave me pause. Not because I believed her necessarily, but because it was a new angle, and it involved potential legal issues. I called Jake and told him about the message. His advice was solid. If she's telling the truth, she should report it to the police, not use it as an excuse to contact you. If she's lying, it's just another manipulation attempt. Either way, don't engage. Friday, she escalated. I got a call from my company's main line. Someone had called claiming to be from my dentist's office, saying they needed to reschedule an appointment and confirm my emergency contact information. When the receptionist asked who the emergency contact was, the caller said Lisa Rodriguez and asked if that was still accurate. Thankfully, my receptionist is sharp and recognized this as suspicious, since my actual emergency contact is my sister. She told the caller that they'd need to speak to me directly and took a message with a callback number. The callback number was Lisa's. I immediately called HR and reported the incident as potential harassment from an ex-girlfriend. They were very understanding and put additional security protocols in place for any calls asking about me. That evening, I finally decided I needed to address this head-on before it escalated further. I called Lisa from a blocked number. She picked up on the first ring. Hello? Who is this? It's me. You need to stop. Oh my God, thank you for calling. I've been trying to reach you because... Lisa, I don't care why you've been trying to reach me. You need to stop contacting me. Stop showing up places I go. Stop calling my work. And stop messaging my family. But I need to tell you about Jordan and the recording. If Jordan recorded you without consent, that's a crime, and you should report it to the police. It has nothing to do with me. But what if he tries to send it to you or post it online? Then you should report it to the police. I just thought you should know because you have a right. Lisa, I don't have a right to anything involving you anymore. We're not together. Your problems with Jordan are not my problems. She was quiet for a moment then. Is there really no chance for us? I've changed so much since Vegas. I'm in therapy. I'm working on myself. I understand now what I put you through. Number. There's no chance. But we were so good together before this happened. We were never as good together as I thought we were, or you wouldn't have been able to do what you did. That's not fair. People make mistakes. Lisa, you didn't make a mistake. You made a plan. You coordinated with Jordan, lied to me repeatedly, and spent my money on a romantic getaway with your ex. Those were conscious choices, not mistakes. I know, but... And now you're harassing me and my family because you don't like the consequences of your choices. That's not someone who's changed or grown. That's someone who's escalating their bad behavior. I'm not harassing you. I just need you to understand. If you contact me again, show up anywhere I am, call my work, or message my family, I'm getting a restraining order. Do you understand me? You wouldn't do that. Try me. I hung up and immediately blocked that number too. The weekend was quiet, and I thought maybe I'd finally gotten through to her. I was wrong. Monday morning, I woke up to find that someone had been in my building's parking garage overnight. My car wasn't damaged, but there was a note under the windshield wiper. I'm sorry for everything. I just want you to be happy, even if it's not with me. But please be careful around Jordan. He's not who you think he is. LL. I took photos of the note and my car, and I called the police non-emergency line to report it. They took a report and advised me to keep documenting everything in case I needed to file for a restraining order. That's where things stand now. I'm definitely going to get a restraining order if this continues, and I've started varying my routine and being more aware of my surroundings. The thing that bothers me most is that I think I know what triggered this recent escalation. I saw through mutual friends' social media that Lisa's mom was recently diagnosed with cancer and is starting treatment. I think Lisa is probably feeling vulnerable and is romanticizing our past relationship as some kind of stability she wants back in her life. I genuinely feel bad about her mom. Mrs. Rodriguez was always kind to me, and I hope she recovers fully. But Lisa's family situation doesn't change what she did to me, or entitle her to force her way back into my life. I'll keep you all updated if anything else happens. Update 2. It's been a month since my last update, and what started as garden variety post-breakup drama escalated into something straight out of a psychological thriller. The week after my last post, Lisa's behavior went completely off the rails. She started leaving gifts outside my apartment, coffee from our old hangout spot, books with sticky notes saying, "Thought you'd like this," each accompanied by increasingly desperate notes begging me to please just talk to her for 5 minutes. I documented everything for my restraining order file, but Lisa was just getting warmed up. Then came the stalking. Not just the gym anymore, but everywhere. My grocery store, trivia night at Murphy's, even the coffee shop near my office. She'd somehow mapped my entire routine and would just happen to be there, trying to corner me for a conversation I absolutely didn't want to have. Each time, I'd leave immediately, but it was clear she was either following me or had turned into some kind of behavioral detective, studying my patterns like a PhD thesis. The breaking point came on a Thursday evening that should have been perfect. I was having dinner with Sarah, a woman I'd been dating who was actually amazing. Smart, funny, gorgeous, the whole package. We were at this nice downtown restaurant, really connecting, and I was thinking this could be something serious. Halfway through our entrees, Lisa materialized at our table like a horror movie villain. "Hi," she said to me, completely ignoring Sarah's existence. "I saw you through the window and just wanted to say hi." Sarah looked like she'd been slapped. I was seeing red. "Lisa, you need to leave. Now. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just being friendly." The fake sweet voice made my skin crawl. "You're harassing me. That's a strong word. I just want to talk." Sarah, bless her heart, stood up with dignity. "I'll give you a minute to sort this out." She headed toward the restroom, but I could see she was shaken. "Look what you've done," I hissed at Lisa. "You've ruined my evening and made someone I care about uncomfortable." "I didn't mean to." She glanced toward the bathroom. "Are you dating her? Is it serious?" "That's none of your business." But is it though? Lisa, leave right now or I'm calling the police. You can't call the police just for talking to you in public. I can for stalking and harassment. Her mask dropped then. The fake friendly expression disappeared, replaced by something cold and ugly. Fine, but you should know Jordan wasn't lying about the recording, and he's been asking about you. What does that mean? Maybe you should be nicer to people trying to help you. That sounded like a threat. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911 right there at the table. 911, what's your emergency? I'm being harassed by my ex-girlfriend who's been stalking me for weeks. She just made what sounds like a threat and won't leave me alone. Lisa's eyes went wide. Clearly, she hadn't expected me to actually follow through. She bolted from the restaurant like her pants were on fire. The police were fantastic. I showed them my carefully maintained documentation, photos of notes and gifts, records of her showing up everywhere, messages to my family, the works. They said I had more than enough evidence for a restraining order and even got security footage from the restaurant. Sarah came back after they left. I explained everything, and she was incredibly understanding. We ended up going back to my place and having an even better evening. If anything, surviving Lisa's ambush together brought us closer. The restraining order was approved within 48 hours. 500 feet minimum distance, no contact whatsoever. Having her served was, I'll admit, deeply satisfying. But then came the plot twist worthy of a Netflix series. 2 days later, some Martinez from the cybercrime unit called. We've received a report about some revenge porn that may involve you. Turns out, Lisa had followed through on her Jordan threat, but not how I expected. She'd reported Jordan for recording them without consent and threatening to release the video. The police investigation revealed Jordan had indeed been shopping their intimate video to revenge porn sites. But here's the kicker. Jordan thought he was getting revenge on me. Lisa had apparently told him I was some college ex who'd ruined their relationship years ago. Jordan had never even met me. He thought releasing the video would hurt this phantom enemy from Lisa's past. It sounds like your ex-girlfriend was manipulating both of you, the detective explained. She told Jordan you were a threat to make him more invested, then tried to use his revenge plan to get back in contact with you. Jordan was arrested for revenge porn and criminal harassment. The police seized all his devices and confirmed no videos were ever distributed. In the most ironic twist possible, Lisa's manipulative master plan had backfired spectacularly. Her lies led to Jordan's arrest before he could hurt anyone, and landed her with a restraining order that finally gave me peace. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting toxic people destroy themselves.